What is going on, you gorgeous bastards? Welcome back to Knock TV. I'm your boy Knock, and we're gonna continue watching all that smoke that Mehdi Hasan brought. Now, again, I highly recommend you checking out the entire debate. Link is in the description below. You'll have to deal with somebody that is dying of lung cancer, but you know, that's just what we have to deal with to get great content sometimes. And the last time, I really focused on Mehdi and that early smoke he brought, and pretty much the whole debate, topic to topic to topic, was just Mehdi owning Michael Knowles. Michael Knowles really had nothing for Mehdi Hasan in this debate outside of, whataboutism, outside of ad hominem, and just talking points that make no sense unless you're like one of the 30% of this country that is completely sucked into this cult. And after a long, arduous 45 minutes, I would say, of Mehdi Hasan just owning Michael Knowles, we're gonna get to the final moderated question of the evening. And that question is, does Donald Trump break the First Amendment? And, we finally come to it. We finally come to that crossroads for Michael Knowles. A person that has risen the ranks on the backs of all those free speech warriors. A person who really points the finger at leftists for being woke and cancel culture. Is he going to step up to the plate? Is he going to be that free speech warrior that we know that he is deep down in his soul? Is he going to call Donald Trump out? But as we're going to find out, as it's going viral at this very moment, we're going to find out that Michael Knowles is incapable of criticizing Donald Trump for anything.
So I suppose the question is President Trump suppressing the First Amendment? And I know that my opponent here on stage made a bold prediction, a promise really, in March of 2024. He said that if President Trump were to be elected again, the stakes for the media were very, very high. What would happen to the free press under President Trump? He's already threatening to do it.
Yeah, sounds like Mehdi Hasan is a prophet. Only like most of us were saying it because we knew Donald Trump. We were there for his last presidency. We read Project 2025.
Last I checked, unfortunately, the New York Times and the CNN still get to publish. MSNBC has sort of gone downhill, but that's mostly because NBC didn't want to deal with them anymore. There's been really no threat to free speech whatsoever under President Trump.
It's a sad day. It's a sad, dismal day. Another free speech warrior bites the dust. Even the 30% that's left in MAGA is going to watch this and they're going to kind of look away and they're going to be like, Michael, bro. How in the fuck? And I don't want to use that language, but I really don't see any other kind of language I can use right now. So I'll repeat it. How in the fuck can you live in this reality and come to this conclusion? I don't know.
His critics are allowed to threaten to kill him. In the case of Hassan Piker, one of the chief critics of President Trump and one of the people who's instigated violence was exalted by the New York Times just last week.
No, his critics don't get to threaten to kill him. In fact, y'all are going after people who aren't even threatening to kill him, just asking for his removal. James Comey. There have been a few fake ass attempts by people that Donald Trump refuses to talk about, doesn't investigate. None of it makes any sense. Your own people, MAGA, doesn't believe this last shooting. Most of them don't believe the shooting in Butler. Nobody believes you, Michael. Nobody believes any of you. And you are just tossing away any credibility you might ever had, if anybody could get away from all your bigotry. just tossing it away like it means nothing to you over this demented clown with syphilis.
After 3 assassination attempts. So I wish that, frankly, there were more limits on speech under Trump, but there certainly is not.
And there you have it. There the cat is out of the bag. This is what Republicans have always believed. As they have been out there spouting about free speech, they want to take away free speech. But, you don't need my smoke. Mehdi is going to bring all the smoke. And, what I've shown you up till now, yeah, he has been smoking Michael Knowles. But now he's going nuclear.
That is an amazing answer, Michael. Both to deny that there's an assault on the free press and to say you wish that there was a bit more of an assault on the free press. Let's just be very clear. About where the facts are on this. Michael thinks everything's fine. Okay, Donald Trump has arrested Don Lemon. He's raided the home of a Washington Post reporter. He has blocked the AP from the Oval Office. He tried to defund NPR and PBS. A judge shot it down. He's tried to ban flag burning, which goes against Supreme Court case Texas versus Johnson from 1989.
I mean, it's gotta really suck to be this two-bit grifter and walk into a debate with Mehdi Hasan. But again, we live in a free country. Michael Knowles did this of his own free will. And there you go, Christians, throwing you a bone.
He's tried to get a late-night comedian fired because he didn't like his jokes. He has just go down the list when it comes to the free press. They tried to restrict reporters reporting at the Pentagon. A judge shot that down too, saying you're not supposed to prescribe the press. He has threatened the New York Times. Just the other day, he said they should be guilty of sedition because they reported on his Iran war in a way he did not like. He has engaged in multiple lawsuits to try to intimidate and suppress the press. His defense secretary bragged loudly that CNN will be coming under new pro-Trump ownership.
And Michael Knowles is just over there sitting. It doesn't show him, but I have an imagination. And I can imagine, I can empathize, I can put myself in his shoes. Like he's over there sitting, and he's thinking to himself, what in the hell did I do? How do I find myself here? Why do I defend this madman? Do I even have a career left?
Just go down the list. Students. We talk about universities. We've seen students arrested for their speech, not for violence, for their speech. A Reagan-appointed judge said the arrest of students like Mahmoud Khalil and Rumeysa Ozturk was a full-throated assault on the First Amendment. A Reagan-appointed judge, William Young, said that, not some liberal Marxist.
Boy, Mehdi bringing all of that heat. It's one of the things that I hate most, that they go around and they pretend, well, it's all liberals and Marxists, like this country has an abundance of Marxist in it, especially when it comes to all the judges we've appointed in this country, the judges that get elected in this country. I'm sure there's just like a shit ton of socialist and Marxist, looking at the evil fascist and voting against them. And that's essentially like what they're implying every time they say that shit. Hey, the evil socialists keep striking down our fascist policy.
And as for, threatening people's speech, just the other day, just a few months ago, Donald Trump threatened 6 members of Congress with death for their speech. He said, seditious behavior, punishable by death. What did they do? They did a video saying, hey, military, don't follow illegal orders. He said, you should be killed for that. This is the most anti-free speech, anti-free press, anti-viewpoint diversity administration in American history. It's led by a complete snowflake who can't tolerate any criticism from anyone, can't tolerate jokes from late-night comedians.
And Mehdi would keep going on with it. It was fire. I mean, Mehdi Hasan brought so much smoke to this smoke lodge. I had to start to question, is my man, is he native? But I know. We're about to get to the juicy stuff. We're about to get to the first audience question of the night. And this shit is just going wild. Just viral all across the internet. Mehdi Hasan does it again. And we're going to see. We're going to truly get to see by the end of this exchange how Michael Knowles is a coward. How he must be the little yes man, the little weakling that dare not criticize the great orange leader.
A lot of the conversation circulated, particularly around Trump's second term activities. I was just curious to the question of not whether Trump upheld the Constitution with regards to January 6th, but did he uphold constitutional norms?
A great question.
A great question you heard Mehdi Hasan say there. I would say a relatively easy question. A relatively easy question. Did President Trump uphold constitutional norms on January 6th? Did we get that peaceful transfer of power that we're so accustomed to? I'll give you a little bit of Michael's answer, but I'm pretty sure you know what he's gonna say.
Yes, he did. Again, I'm not convincing anyone that they should love the horn hat guy. That's not the basis on which you're voting this evening. But there is a great precedent for contested elections in the United States. In fact, that's what the 12th Amendment is about. We've had a number of contested elections. Obviously, 1860, the election of Lincoln, the Rutherford v. Hayes, which resulted in the Compromise of 1876.
And as he's done this entire debate, his only defense is a bunch of whataboutism. We're actually going to get some new stuff, though, as he is about to give us a whole bunch of false equivalency.
Bush v. Gore, Al Gore refused to concede for months after that, and there were some riotous events. So what occurred at the Capitol on January 6th was very unfortunate, though it's been much lied about. It's worth pointing out that the only person who was killed in political violence that day was a Trump supporter who was killed by a trigger-happy cop.
Again, we've come full circle. Killed by a trigger-happy cop? What are you, a liberal from 2016, bro? I mean, this is the Republican Party. Like, the Republican Party. The same Republican Party. Well, not really the same. They're like batshit fucking crazier than they've ever been. But the Republican Party we all grew up with. The Republican Party that defended that line of blue. Like, is it really going to take a progressive like Mehdi Hasan to defend police officers here?
So glad you asked that question, because January 6th hadn't come up, and it was a big issue from Trump's end of his first term. Mike Pence, we talked about Mike Pence, who Michael's a fan of.
Why does Mike Pence keep coming up?
Because you're a fan of his, and he was the vice president who didn't endorse the president for another term because he said he made me do unconstitutional stuff. He wanted me to violate my constitutional oath. That's from Mike Pence's testimony. You want to dismiss it because you know there's comeback for it. You cite Al Gore. Al Gore never incited an insurrection. There is no precedent for January 6th. We were used to peaceful transfers of power. Richard Nixon agreed, even though he's probably robbed by JFK. Al Gore agreed, even though he's probably robbed by George W. Bush. Donald Trump actually lost, for sure, and he still didn't accept it and incited a riot.
Woo! Preach it, brother. Preach it. Like Michael Knowles is the biggest fake in the history of fakes. It's like they're all competing with each other. Like who can be faker than who, just to get the warm glow from the orange man. But Mehdi Hasan's spitting fire, and we're coming to that point. We're coming to that point that everybody's talking about.
Michael says, Democrats thought it was the worst day in history. Do you know who said, bar none, it was the most horrifying day in American politics in my lifetime?
Mike Pence.
No.
No, I don't know. You
Guess
kept quoting
again.
him, so I assume.
Guess again. It was Ben Shapiro on January the 7th. He said it was the most horrifying day that I witnessed in American politics. Noted Democrat
But
Ben
I
Shapiro
always
said
disagree with that guy.
on January the 7th.
Bringing that smoke. Better watch what you say, dog. That's your boss man. Although, how long is he really going to be boss man? Let's be honest. It must be just the most awkward feeling in the world to be a complete and utter hypocrite. To live your life, your entire life, pretending to be a thing you're not. But the thing about pretending is you can only do it for so long. You are your genuine, authentic self, and it's down there just itching to come out. And you have lived with this problem because you know when it comes out, you're going to be absolutely rejected for the horrible piece of shit that you are.
So let's just deal with some facts here. The people who attacked the Capitol were not going on private tours. They were not just a horn hat guy. It was people like Daniel Rodriguez, who assaulted Michael Fanone, put him in a stroke, got 12 years in prison. The judge said he was an army of hate and violence. Donald Trump pardoned him. It was people like Andrew Paul Johnson, who was just sentenced to life in prison for sexually abusing 2 children in Florida. Donald Trump pardoned him for January the 6th. He pardoned a neo-Nazi called Bradley Tyler Dykes, who did a Sieg Heil salute as he attacked police officers. These are the people Trump pardoned. Michael has never condemned Trump for that.
Like, it's like he's just picking up little skinny old Michael Knowles and body slamming them over and over again. And it's almost too painful to watch, but I've had to suffer through years of Michael Knowles bigotry. So while it's hard to watch it, it's so very satisfying. But now we've come to it, right? Like we've come, like that first part with Ben Shapiro, that's going viral, and this is going viral. And we're going to see just how big a cuck Michael Knowles really is.
Harry Sisson asked Michael on his show earlier this year, would you condemn Donald Trump for doing that? And he wouldn't answer the question. He said, I'll never condemn Donald Trump. Do you condemn Donald Trump for pardoning neo-Nazis, domestic abusers, pedophiles?
Well, hold on. Was he one
do you condemn Trump for pardoning?
I'm just asking a clarifying question about that guy. Was he one of the neo-Nazis who was getting $3 million from the SPLC, or was he a different neo-Nazi?
Nice diversion. I'm not Harry Sisson. I'll use up my time. Do you condemn Donald Trump for pardoning neo-Nazis, violent criminals, people who assaulted 140 police officers on January the 2nd?
One last real clarification.
He won't answer.
One last real clarification.
I'll ask again. It's a simple question. Do you support pardoning the 600 people who were charged with assaulting police officers?
Did he pardon them for
like Daniel
pedophilia?
Rodriguez? He pardoned them for assaulting police.
Oh,
do you support that? All right.
Okay.
Do you support that?
All right.
3 times he hasn't answered.
Stick to the 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute.
Do you condemn Donald Trump for pardoning 600 people who assaulted police officers? 4th time. Can you do it?
I'm happy to. I condemn pedophilia,
do you condemn Donald Trump for pardoning January 6th rioters? He won't do it. He will not do it.
And there you have it. Like Michael Knowles literally will not criticize Donald Trump for anything. Will not be consistent to his principle. And he is indeed a cuck for Donald Trump. And I know, you're like, dude, you're being like just real harsh and you're not even using cuck in the right way. And I totally get what you're saying there, but let me ask you this question, right? Let me ask you this question. Donald Trump comes to Michael Knowles' house, meets Michael Knowles' wife, and it doesn't even take long. Grab him by the pussy, says, get in the bedroom, and he looks at Michael Knowles, and he's like, I'm gonna fuck your wife. And Michael Knowles says, but sir, that's my wife. And Donald Trump says, yes, that's your wife. And I'm about to go and put my 1-inch mushroom penis inside of her. And Michael Knowles, he kind of frowns. No. Are you sure you gotta? Donald Trump says, yes, I do. What do you think he's gonna say? Like he's gonna say, yes, okay, sir, go fuck my wife. And then he's gonna try to get out of watching, right? Because he doesn't want to watch that shit. But Donald Trump's a pervert. Donald Trump, he's a narcissist. He's gonna tell Michael Knowles, no, you're gonna come in and you're gonna watch me fuck my wife. And what do you think Michael Knowles is gonna do? He's gonna go in there and watch Donald Trump fuck his wife. So no, I am using the word perfectly accurately. And I guess there goes any chances of me trying to PG-13 this channel. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Comment in the comment section below. Interact with this channel. Help this channel grow. It's my new channel. This is the channel I'm focusing on. This is the main channel. Let's get this thing going. I'll see you later.